Welcome to the Ryan Show! Today we're going to talk about potato bags.
You want to try? Try them on. Yay! Hi guys! In today's video we are going to go through some of the equipment that we've bought and installed on Polysteel, the ones that really changed our lives and that we really loved, and some of the big misses that we have made. And hopefully you can make better choices. We're gonna go through everything that really made a difference, and we're gonna go high and low, very expensive, very cheap.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
I like that. No transition, let's go. Our first big miss, and I think that in terms of how much it cost, it was the biggest miss. And it's also something that we had really high hopes for, and it is our deck solar panels.
We bought these deck solar panels from Sunbeam Systems, and the 400 watts of panels, the 8 panels that we have, cost about €2,000.
At max, we get 100 watts from the solar panels, and we installed them last year. 2 of them are already broken. So we were really disappointed with those solar panels because they were so expensive, and we had really high hopes for them. We bought the model called Tough Plus, which is supposed to be their better model, their more high performance model, and the reality is that over a year later they just don't perform the way that we expected them to. So we bought 620 watts of solid solar panels that we installed on top of our brand new arch. Those are from a company called Long Eye Solar. They cost €200, which is extremely cheap, 10 times cheaper than our deck panels.
Yeah.
We didn't buy them because of the brand or anything, we just wanted solar panels that fitted.
And they're awesome. I think on a peak day we get maybe 550 watts out of them. So they are awesome, really good. And that is the hit from our solar.
The next big hit has to do with our electric system as well. We installed those solar panels because we overhauled our electric system and changed our AGM batteries to lithium batteries.
So before we had 300 amp hours of AGM power available, and now we have 680 amp hours of lithium available to us. So it's a massive difference.
We have 4 of those Dakota Lithium batteries that cost $1,600 each. Now, in the spirit of full disclosure, Dakota Lithium is a company that Ryan is involved in and helped found, so we did get
A bit of a discount.
we did get a bit of a discount.
With the lithium batteries, we also installed a bigger inverter from Victron Energy. So this is a 3,000 watt inverter, and what it has done is allowed us to use a lot more AC devices. So our induction cooktop, Sophie's hairdryer, food processor, different things, and that's really been beneficial. In fact, this whole season we've only gone through 2 propane bottles on our stove because we've been using the induction cooktop more than really anything else. And we wouldn't have been able to do that without that larger inverter. So to complement the lithium batteries and the solar panels, we also installed an arch, and that has been a major hit this year. Not only does it hold the solar panels, it acts as our dinghy davits. So that arch has been a major change in our lives this year, and we're super glad we did that. So that's been a big hit this year.
We paid €4,000 for this arch. We had it made by Stuart in Almerimar. It's awesome. We think that the price for what we get was really good. Massive hit.
Massive hit.
Next, it's an obvious hit. It is our Watermaker, our DIY Watermaker that Ryan built himself. We bought a kit from SeaWater Pro that cost $2,300. We spent a little bit of time installing it because it's not something that you just place on the boat and off we go, you get water on board. It required a little bit of work, but the price difference between a kit that you build yourself and an off-the-shelf Watermaker is huge. I think that one of our friends who bought an Aquabase Watermaker paid €12,000.
Yeah.
And if you do the math with all the equipment that we listed before the Watermaker, for the price of this Aquabase Watermaker, you can get the DIY Watermaker plus the lithium batteries, plus the big inverter, plus the arch, plus the solar panels.
You can pretty much do the whole setup we did by just building a Watermaker yourself, and it will make up for the power differentials and costs. It's just awesome.
One thing that we get asked a lot on our channel is our dinghy setup.
Our outboard is a Torqeedo 1003, and it's the equivalent to about a 3 horsepower petrol outboard motor, and it costs us around $1,700.
We've had it for 3 years. It's the first outboard that we ever bought. We never owned a diesel or petrol outboard, so we cannot make the comparison, but one thing that we know is that we love how easy it is to handle. It is really light. I can carry it very easily. We don't have to store it upright, so we typically store it in the garage when we're on the way. We never had to buy petrol. We never had to worry about filling the tanks of our outboard.
At full throttle, we cruise between 4 and 5 knots. And if we go slower than that, we can go for an hour or two probably.
Yes.
If we go slower.
The one thing that I will say about the Torqeedo is that last year we had a little bit of a harder time charging it.
Yeah.
We bought the fast charger version of the charger, which has really changed our life. Last year charging the battery took 12 hours.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this year it's about 6.
This year it's about 6 hours. It's been really good.
Our electric outboard is attached to our dinghy, which is a Takacat 300 Sport, and it's actually a bit of a catamaran dinghy, so it's not a hard bottom, but the floor is actually lifted off the bottom and it has 2 giant pontoons next to it.
It makes it both really light and also extremely stable. We can literally step on any part of the dinghy, it stays flat, it makes it easy to board the dinghy, to have our groceries, diesel, everything is made really easy because our dinghy is stable. It's probably not the most sturdy of setups, but it works really well for us because it's so light and easy to manipulate.
Yeah.
On our dinghy we installed a navigation light mounted on a pole that is from Navilight, and that costs about 140 euros. It's not something that we had for the 3 first years of our sailing career, and it is something that we really missed. Every year there are a lot of accidents that happen because dinghies are not visible at night on the sea. And we've experienced it firsthand in a big anchorage in Italy, where there were probably 100 boats and almost as many dinghies, and not all of them had a light, and we couldn't see them. You cannot see a dinghy in the dark, and even if you wear a headlamp, the headlamp is not visible at 360 degrees. And it is something that we changed this year, and that makes us feel so much safer in the dinghy at night. We use it a lot, and we absolutely love it, and I don't even understand that we didn't have one earlier. Moving on to personal equipment, and my first big hit was my pair of Dubarry Ultima boots. They're a little expensive, they cost about $300 depending on where in the world you buy them, but they are the best thing ever. When we were sailing in the Baltic and all the way down to the Mediterranean, it was really cold, and getting cold makes me seasick. So having those boots that were perfectly insulated but also breathable made an enormous difference. It was such a good investment for my personal comfort on board.
I think the next hit on the personal equipment side was our Musto HPX Foul weather gear. So the jacket costs 750 pounds and the pants cost 600 pounds. We have some lower end jackets that we also use from time to time, but these are like above and beyond when the weather's bad and rainy and cold.
The construction is great, the material is perfect, the color is really thick and comes with a different set of configuration for when you want to have your neck open, or where you want to have everything closed and only have that much open to be able to see. We've tried a few ones. The HPX Musto are the absolute best. Something that we also use a lot and that has been a huge hit for us are our Spinlock Deck Vest 5D life jackets. They are absolutely amazing. Those were really expensive, they were 300 euros, but they are the most comfortable. They come with a whole bunch of features that make them great for offshore sailing, but also for coastal sailing. But above all, they are extremely comfortable and lightweight, and that's what you want out of a life jacket. When you buy a life jacket, you hope that you're never going to use the features of the life jacket other than the comfort and the lightweight.
In our life jackets, each Sophie and I have a Ocean Signal MOB1. So these are devices that if somebody does fall over, the ship's MMSI number is programmed in, and it will send an alert to the VHF, beep, 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 to hopefully wake somebody up. And it will also put an AIS target on the chart plotter.
They cost about 300 euros each, so it's a lot of money for something that you also hope that you are never going to use. But for us, it's the semi-assurance that if one of us falls overboard at night, we become a little easier to recover. A little easier.
That brings us to another miss, and that's the Spinlock Tether lines. So
Yes.
when we bought the Deck Fest, they actually came with a set each of tether lines, and we thought it would be great, and they turned out not to be very good at all. They do perform their function, but we found that the mouth of the clip is very small, so we're limited on connection points that we can use throughout the boat. We also found that it's a little clumsy to get the gate open when you're trying to switch the tether line to where you want to go.
That brings us to the big hit, which are our conch tether line. They cost about 80 euros each, but they are way more elastic. The mouth is way easier to handle, and they come with a quick release that you attach to your life jacket. So in case you fall overboard or you get, I don't know, strangled, or you need to detach your tether line, you can pull it very quickly, as opposed to try to cut your tether line or try to open the clumsy mouth of the Spinlock.
It's a good point, because those lifelines are designed to be able to release from the person wearing it under load.
Yeah.
And most other tether lines are not. You would have to lift the load off, then release it, and then you could free yourself. So it's got a lot of safety features built in. We think it's a big hit, and that's what we switched to this year.
Let's talk about our communication equipment.
So a big hit on this side is our 4G extender. We have a powered 4G
Yes.
extender.
Our 4G extender costs 390 pounds, and it has worked brilliantly in the Mediterranean, where it's really easy to find 4G everywhere. And with our 4G extender, we can get signal up to 20 miles offshore, which is a long distance.
At the same time I bought the 4G extender, I also bought a powered Wi-Fi extender, and that brings us to our miss.
We haven't used it much.
We have not. And the Wi-Fi extender also comes from Digital Yacht. It was a little bit more expensive. It was closer to 600 pounds, and we just haven't used it. It's a little bit cumbersome to use in the interface.
Yeah, maybe next year when we are in the Caribbean and it's harder to find good 4G, we find ourselves using the Wi-Fi extender a little more. But in the Mediterranean, we could have gotten away with the 4G extender on its own, and it's been working brilliantly.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on to the category of equipment that was pretty cheap, but that made a really big difference for us.
Okay.
The first one of those items is our rangefinder.
The rangefinder is something that is typically used on a golf course. So you take it, you point it at the flag, the hole you're aiming for, and it will tell you the distance in yards or meters. We can use the same thing on the water. So we just take it, point it at the boat, and we can see how far they are.
It's been really helpful when people get confused how far you are from their boat, or if we have a boat that comes a little close to us, we typically just shoot the rangefinder, check the distance, and we are either safe or we ask other people to move, which we haven't done too much, but it's about $100. You can find more or less fancy ones, but ours is pretty basic and it does the job absolutely fantastically.
Next on the list is our deck shower. So when we bought Polar Seal, it actually had a deck shower with it, but it was broken.
Our deck shower comes from Plastimo, and I think that it costs like 50 euros or something. It's been brilliant. We can not only like wash ourselves after we've taken a swim in the water, but we also can rinse the dinghy. It's such a brilliant little piece of equipment.
Yeah. Another hit on our list is a 12-volt fans. In the last month, it has been incredibly hot on Polar Seal. It's something we are not used to at all, and these 12-volt fans have changed our life. It's something I think you should have on the boat, some fans just to keep the air moving.
Yes, that's the closest to AC we have on this boat. AC would be a big hit, but I don't know where we would install it.
No.
Let's talk about another one of our big miss. I think that this one is actually even bigger than the solar panels.
What's that?
Do you remember those beautiful foldable kayaks that you bought?
Oh yeah.
Where are they?
They're in Stockholm.
Why are they in Stockholm?
They don't fit on the boat. So before we left Sweden, I got this great idea to buy these Oru foldable kayaks. They're made out of corrugated plastic and they fold up. I thought, man, these are going to be great. We can have two of them. They'll fit really well on the boat. When they arrived, I realized that wasn't the case. We used them a few times and we left them in Sweden. And they were a little expensive, I think together they're about €2,000. We still have them, we're selling them if anyone's interested. But yeah, so that was a big miss.
On the other hand, a big hit was our SUP boards. We got 2 SUP boards from a company called Goosehill. They cost about $400 each, so they're not the most expensive out there. They come in a backpack. They come deflated, you can blow them up very easily, and they are great as a way to get to shore when you don't want to take the dinghy or when the dinghy is busy with someone else.
Yep.
And they're also a great way to go explore the beaches, the caves.
So we just got them and we are looking forward to using them more in this upcoming season.
Okay, let's talk about some of our most ridiculous misses.
Okay, let's talk about the potato bag.
Oh my god, it is still in the bag.
It is actually still in the bag. It's in the bag. Why is it in the bag, Sophie?
Because it's brand new.
It's brand new. Have we had other potato bags?
Yes, we have.
Okay, so for those who are wondering, well, what's the potato bag?
Open it.
This bag is used to, you can do 2 things. You can do many things with it. You could use it as a grocery bag, I guess. The idea is you can put potatoes in the bag, put the bag in the water, and as it drags behind the boat, it kind of cleans and even peels a bit of the potatoes.
Okay, you have to understand that this is a Swedish thing, you know. Not everybody around the world wants to peel their potatoes behind their bag. But in Sweden, you go buy your potatoes in your archipelago and you need to peel them and wash them.
The other thing you can do with this bag, again, Swedish thing, because the water's cooler, is you can put your beer in here,
yes.
Put it in the water, and it cools it off.
I thought it was a great concept.
To be fair, it was. We did put potatoes in the potato bag. We dragged it behind the boat, and it worked.
Yes.
The problem was we left the bag behind the boat while we were anchoring, and as we put the boat in reverse, I said to Sophie, "Sophie, where's the potato bag?" As she looked down at the bow of the boat and saw the mashed potatoes floating by on the propeller.
The prop was like a little food processor.
We made mashed potatoes to feed to the fishies.
I was pretty mad.
So that's about €20. We bought a second one because it did actually work.
But we've never used it.
We haven't used it. It's been in the bag for 2 years.
I think that we have a potato bag trauma.
And now the water temperature is like 32 degrees Celsius, so kind of pointless to put the beer in there. So that was a bit of a miss.
That was the story of the potato bag. Let's talk about your tools, Ryan, and the good decision making that you've been doing at the hardware store.
Tools on a boat are, like many things, just a battle. And to keep your tools clean and rust-free and organized and nice is just something that is ongoing. This year I decided to upgrade my socket and wrench sets.
So it was an upgrade.
It was an upgrade. So I bought a new one at the Spanish hardware store, and this video will show you why it sucks so much.
That was €70, very poorly invested.
If somebody would like to buy this kit from me, I will sell it to them.
Why would they?
Well, maybe somebody's not going to bang around in a boat and they just want to have it on a workbench.
Mm-hmm. Moral of the story, when you buy tools, make sure that when you open the box, they don't just fall everywhere. It's gonna save you a lot of frustration. Moving on to probably our absolutely most ridiculous miss ever, namely the seasickness glasses. Those glasses are actually pretty popular in the cruisers forums. Now and then they pop up and people ask, hey, do they work? Have someone had any experience of them? And I do. So here's how it works. You put them on when you start to feel a little nauseous, when you start to feel the first sign of seasickness. And what it does is that this little liquidy part here on the sides and on the front of the glasses gives your brain the illusion of the horizon, of like a flat, stable horizon. And within 10 minutes, because those glasses send a correct signal to your brain, you are supposed to not feel very seasick anymore. I'm actually going to keep them on for the rest of this video.
You look ridiculous.
Because they're so stylish. I made an entire review of those glasses. Bottom line, they did not work for me. I keep them because I find them funny. I can understand the concept behind them. I can understand that maybe they work for some people, especially who get car sick or train sick or whatever, but when you live on a boat, it's a very intense environment. And I think that what worked best for me was just to try to understand my seasickness a little better and make it work for myself. But those glasses have not helped much. But it's funny when I shake my head, I get those. You want to try?
No.
Try them on. Yeah,
I do not want to try them on.
Yeah, you should.
These are ridiculous.
Look at me.
So that is our list of hit or miss. Of course, there's a lot of things that we have on Polar Sea that we think are awesome. We could talk about them for days, but this is the best list we could put together, I think, for this video. Yeah.
I hope you liked this video. This video was actually voted by our patrons as the video that they wanted to see, and I hope that we delivered. Talking about our patrons, we have a lot of people that we welcome in our community this week. Okay, I have to take the list, guys. I hope that it's okay, but welcome Mark, welcome Marius, welcome Domoka and Renee. Renee as in
That's
your
my
sister, Renee.
Thanks, Renee.
Welcome Dennis, welcome Robin, and welcome Bob. Thank you so much for joining our community of patrons.
It's really great.
We really hope that you enjoy it. As a patron, you get access to a list of little video ideas that we have, and yeah, now and then we make them. So don't hesitate to go check out that list. You can also make your own suggestions if there are anything that you guys want to see. That is us for us today. I think that this is going to make a long video, so thanks for bearing with us, and I hope that the view of Ryan wearing those glasses...
They're making me sick, actually. So we need to finish.
Oh no. Okay.
Cool.
Alright guys, well thank you for being with us. We catch you very soon. Goodbye.
Bye.